All right, you're looking at Championship Court here in Mesa, Arizona. We're here at the inaugural PPA first tour stop of the year. This is the first of 7 stops, more than $500,000 in money for the pros. And we've already been treated to quite the match prior to this. And right now you're looking at Lee and Annalie Waters in the pink and black. You will often see them color coordinated. As well as Taylor Uhl and Cassandra Gehrke. And they're just getting final instructions from the referee. And we're gonna get ready to have the first serve in a moment. And this seems like a good chance to introduce the first guest that we have this weekend. We're gonna have a few different people coming through the broadcast booth. And what we sometimes like to do, special guest, is we like to not tell people who we have just yet.
Ooh. That's a very good idea. I wonder who the first person that can guess my voice will be.
We should make some sort of special prize. Speaking of special things, be sure, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to hit like and especially hit share. That's how you can let your friends know what you're doing, what you're watching, and to see some of this great pickleball action. And we're going to be streaming live all weekend long. So, special guest, do you want to give us a couple clues? Here, I can ask you some questions and maybe you can answer them, and then that will give a clue.
I like it.
Okay, so if you could only hit one shot, like one pickleball shot for the rest of your pickleball career, and you had to choose just one, the one that you could kind of like go to all the time, what would that special shot be?
You know, I really, really love hitting the Ernie shot. As long as I have a good partner that can cover the rest of the court, I don't mind having 2 feet out of bounds with my paddle up ready for that Ernie.
Okay, so that is a very good clue. So our special guest, sometimes you'll see her when she plays, is she's got such a strong high forehand volley that she'll actually set up on the left side of the court with 1 or sometimes even 2 feet outside of the sideline, just sitting there with that paddle up ready to bounce.
I don't know why he's laughing at me right now. Getting bullied already.
No, it's fun to watch. It's unique. Actually, I was teaching a clinic not too long ago, and we brought that up, right? This idea of it doesn't really matter whether you're playing mixed doubles or women's doubles or men's doubles. It doesn't really matter how you divide the court with you and your partner, so long as you're both on the same page.
Yeah, and it's covered completely.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess that would be a good second clue,
Yeah.
is that you have a partner who can cover a lot of territory.
Mixed doubles and in doubles. I
Yeah.
get very, very lucky. I don't know how or why, but I get lucky with awesome partners.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we've got any
Okay.
guesses so far.
I feel like I'm practically giving it away.
Oh, too easy.
Oh,
they
too
say. There's a
easy?
whole bunch of guesses.
Oh.
Yes, it is in fact Lindsay
Oh my
Newman.
gosh, everyone. Shoot.
Yeah, there are
Too
a lot
easy.
of Terry. That's true. There are a lot of Newmans. That is a fact.
But the fact he guessed the right one is bonus points
Yeah.
for Terry Hartley.
All right, if you are watching us on Facebook, feel free if you want to say hello to Lindsay or you want to ask some questions of her. She's going to be with us for this match, helping us understand a little bit more about what it is that we're going to see in front of us. And I think it's fair to say that Waters and Waters are the clear favorites in this match.
I would think so. I mean, they've won probably a couple more titles than Cass and Taylor have. So they also probably hit the ball a lot harder than they do, but I think Cass and Taylor will try really hard to try to slow it down, mix in a couple funky shots. I know Cass will probably look to Ernie because she loves doing that too. So it'll be interesting.
So you'll see here, Lindsay, the players are warming up their serve right now. It's Lee and Anna-Lee, and I think a lot of non-pro players at home will say, "Wow, when I go out and I go play, like we don't really warm up our serves before we play. Why? I mean, it's not that hard to get the serve in the court. Why are they wasting time warming up their serves?"
You know, I'm actually one of those people, thank you for, again, throwing me under the bus, who will not warm up their serve because I do like to think it's so easy. I, just get the ball in the court, that sort of thing. I am personally trying to change that mindset. I'm going to try to work on a deeper, more powerful serve. Sometimes it's just getting the serve motion down, just getting a few under the belt to make sure nothing's funky or anything like that. It's probably not the shot you want to practice the most in a warm-up, but just to get a few shots, I don't think it hurts anything.
Is it also fair to say, in the last match we were watching, both Catherine Peranto and Callie Smith really seemed to use their serve not just to start the rally, but to cause trouble. We saw quite a few sort of poor returns that were able to be attacked.
More important, I think it's that shot that no one, not a whole lot of players pay a whole lot of attention to, but I think that'll be changing any time now.
All right, we see Cassandra Gehrke serving to Anna-Lee Waters. And early on, you're right, Lindsay, we saw Cassandra looking for that Ernie attempt.
And Taylor's crafty. I think she just kind of came on the scene not too long ago. I know she came from soccer, but she's crafty. It'll be interesting to see how the Waters handle her.
Anna-Lee Waters handles that high backhand volley very well, but you got to think that Cassandra and Taylor are pretty happy with making Waters work so hard on that first point.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the key to their success, is making them hit a lot of shots, a lot of balls, playing a whole lot of defense and battling it out.
So that's a combination that I think we can expect to see, where one of the Waters will drive that third shot, and then the other one, instead of just moving forward, will actually look to cover the middle. And why is that drive-poach combination a tactic that a lot of the players will find effective?
I mean, it works. It's as simple as that. It works. If you can get a nice low drive, typically, the person at the net might have some trouble handling that. Putting it deep in the corner, so they're just going to typically hit it down the middle of the court. And if you have a partner that's quick enough and can put that next shot away, the shake and bake works. Cass cannot miss those shots. We have to get every single return of serve in the court. Got to make them play. She does not like that she missed that one.
Interesting technique from Taylor Uhl. She stands quite upright, and unlike some of the players, especially the ones who come from tennis backgrounds, where you'll see kind of like their whole body engaged when they're hitting the ball, when you see some players, she actually reminds me of a little bit of Jeff Warnick out there, right? Standing upright, really just using sort of her hand and arm.
Not a whole lot of, knee bend, but she's ready. She has really quick hands, especially for just kind of starting out not too long ago. And like I said, she came from soccer, so she has really quick feet and is comfortable with her movement.
All right, right now we're seeing from a few of you that you're hearing the audio great, and we'll get the video sorted out in a second. I'll see if I can do this like it's like a radio broadcast.
Play by play.
That's right. It's so tough because it's so quick to do it.
Yeah, it's hard.
We spoke a moment ago, Lindsay, about how Taylor, sort of a distinctive style. She doesn't come from a tennis background the way that some of the other women that we see do.
Yeah.
Do you have a bit of a sense of her athletic background?
All I know is that she came from soccer. Like I said, she's pretty new on the scene, so I don't know a whole lot about her. I think I've only played her once personally, and like I said, she's crafty, she's quick, doesn't bend her knees a whole lot, but she's ready at the net. She wants the ball, and she has a lot of future out of her.
Okay, so we're gonna see if we can provide you a little more commentary. The score is 0-7-2. Taylor Uhl serving to Annalie Waters. They're hitting cross-court dinks back and forth to each other, backhand to backhand.
Speed up.
Yep, and Annalie, of course, happy to take even the lowest balls and hit hard. In that case, goes the wrong way for her.
It did not turn out well.
1-7-2. Cassandra Gehrke, Taylor Uhl playing Waters and Waters. And with that Uhl dink in the net, it's going to be a side out. Lee Waters serving from the right side at 7-1-1. And Lee Waters, third shot drive, handled by Uhl. Forcing Waters into the slow game.
Ooh, good overhead.
And Lee Waters tried the cross-court lob over Uhl. She moved well. She's quite a tall player, able to put away the overhead. Lindsay, maybe you can tell us something about when players choose to play a lob. That's something I'm hearing more from people about, these offensive lobs that they want to play. And you've got a decision to make, right? To play that lob down the line, to play that lob over the middle, to play that lob cross-court.
Oh, what a battle. Oh, got too excited.
Do you have some advice for people at home who might be listening in this case, who, when they're trying to make that decision about which direction to lob, how might they make that choice?
Well, I personally have partners that have better shots than I do, so typically they will hit most of the lob. You're asking lob-wise, if I'm going to hit a lob, or if I'm going to throw up a lob?
Let's say you've decided to lob. You're in a dinking rally, and you've decided that you're going to play a lob.
Okay.
And you could hit down the line, you could hit cross-court, you could hit down the middle. Like, what kinds of factors might you try to work into it?
Well, typically I'll try to hit over the least tall person. That gives me more margin of error for my lob.
Is that another way of saying the shorter person?
The shorter person, yes. I'll typically hit, over the shorter person. Typically if they're gonna try to hit that lob, they're gonna have a lot harder trouble hitting it. And if they don't decide to hit that and their other partner decides to hit it, they're gonna have to move their feet a lot, and that's gonna put them a little bit out of position. So if I will throw up a lob, I'm gonna try to aim behind the shorter person. And
what if they are the exact same height?
Ooh.
And same jumping ability?
I will typically still try to go cross court. I'm not typically gonna lob straight ahead, I don't think, unless I really. Oh, wow, what a shot! Unless I really think it's there.
Because I guess it's a longer distance on the diagonal, right? Distance. So you've got more room to work with.
Yeah, more margin of more margins. And I think if it does go kapooey and you don't throw up a good lob, you have more time to react to an overhead slam in your face.
All right, it sounds like I'm seeing here on Facebook that the video is back. Oh, and you're back just in time for a quick timeout. We're going to be back in 1 minute. Watch this terrific word from our sponsor. We'll be back.
I got your new paddle.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Could you sign it?
Yeah, I signed all those.
That's not your signature.
That is indeed my signature.
But I did not see you sign it myself, personally.
Okay.
Maybe just a...
All right, welcome back to Championship Court. You're looking at Lee and Annalie Waters taking on Taylor Uhl and Cassandra Gehrke. And we've heard from a lot of you that you're enjoying the Jigsaw Health commercials. And they are a major sponsor here at the PPA Tour. Score is 10-1. This is game point here. 10-1-2. Annalie Waters serving to Taylor Uhl. You know what? You can afford to miss that shot at 10-1-1.
You know, I was gonna say you never want to miss a shot like that. But you know, when you're up 9 or 10 points, you can rest assured you'll get another chance most likely.
All right, looks like it was the wrong server there. That's a mental unforced error from Gehrke and Uhl. We should see if Taylor and Warnick want to play some mixed doubles together.
You know, Jeff Warnick has a pretty good partner in Jesse Irvin, so I don't think he would switch that up.
On an off day,
but like on an exhibition style, or you know, for a Dairy Queen Blizzard, maybe he would switch things up a little bit.
All right, switching things up. 10-1-2. This is game point here, and Lee Waters switches it up with a lob serve to the backhand of Gehrke. There's the poach.
Cassandra, a layout. Cassandra Gehrke with the layout.
The first one of the PPA Tour that we've seen, and with that, Waters take game number 1. They're going to take a quick hydration break, and we're going to be back in a minute more with Mark Renison and Lindsay Newman here from Mesa, Arizona.
That's lit. That is lit.
All right, welcome back. We're getting ready for game number 2 here on day number 1 at the Mesa PPA event. This is the first stop of 7. And if you're just joining us, Lee and Annalie Waters took game number 1 in decisive fashion. And we're here at the beginning of game number 2. This is an early round match. I'm Mark Renison, joined by Lindsay Newman. And Lindsay, I mean, not that you're in a position where you lose too many first games 11-1, but I'm sure you've been there. You've been there. What would Taylor Uhl and Cassandra Gehrke be talking about to try to turn things around at least a little bit going forward?
It's a good question. I was going to ask you the same thing. I guess if it was me, I would try to just think to myself to hit high percentage shots. You know, I think they were, you know, Cass and Taylor might have been a little bit nervous, a little bit tight. They both missed shots that normally I don't think they would have missed. So just hitting those balls, you know, no stupid mistakes, and just getting ready to buckle in and battle out. That was good. Not hitting out balls would be one of the things. So how about you, Mark? What's your game plan?
I mean,
you can look at it 2 ways. You know, you can either go out there and say, gosh, we lost 111. Let's just go out there and ball out. Let's just, you know, hit as hard as we can. Let's just go out there.
Is that the technical term?
I don't know. I'm going to call it ball out. Or you could say, you know, option 2 is, you know, let's slow things down a lot. Let's try to just play defense. You know, that sort. You can either do like an offensive front or a defensive front.
Yeah. I mean, and sometimes, like, winning pickleball matches is sometimes about you and your team playing well, right?
Yeah.
But it's also sometimes about finding ways to make the other team play worse.
True.
Right? Yep. And so, you know, I'm not sure, you know, I guess at this point right now, Cassandra and Taylor have to hope a little bit that Waters are going to miss shots that they, you know, and
Well, I think they have to put some more pressure on him too. You know, I think there comes to a point where you don't want to sit back.
Maybe
and
they
just
give them a
play
little
defense.
shake and bake
Yeah,
themselves.
Yeah, make them think a little bit. You know, throw in some things, throw in some shots that might not be expected, and see how that goes.
We had someone ask on the Facebook stream whether it hurts less to get hammered by a 13-year-old instead of a 12-year-old.
It hurts no matter who you lose to. It hurts if you lose to an 80-year-old or an 8-year-old, honestly.
You lost to many 8-year-olds?
I don't think so. But I'm still young. That
Yeah.
can still happen.
Yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, and
Losing's losing.
it's a nice example by Taylor there. I know, it's the last shot that she wins the point off the top of the net, but to be able to absorb the speed, and it's not, I think a mistake that sometimes players make is when they receive hard shots at the net is that sometimes they're too focused on hitting things slowly rather than just getting it low.
Yep.
Right? Because whether you hit the ball with speed or slower, if you can reply with a low ball that forces your opponents to hit up on the next shot, that limits their ability, right? If you slow it down against Lee or Anna Lee, but it's a high ball, like the trouble is not going to end, right?
Trouble, yeah.
So Taylor did a really good job of getting that volley down low, and they're going to need another low ball here if they want to end this emergency.
Cass is all over the place. Wow, good shot.
And that emergency ends, but with a winner off Waters'
And that's
backhand
what they're
volley.
going to have to do. They're just going to have to grind and try to get every single ball back and just hope, I think, that the Waters make a mistake.
4-0-1. Third shot drive again, ball set up. Okay, Lindsay, while we're here, I want to test out a theory with you.
Oh gosh.
So, I'm starting to notice some of the top players returning serve short, and intentionally short.
Okay.
But in many cases, these balls are still not being attacked. They still end up being like a third shot drop.
Yeah.
Right? And I think it's because we're starting to see people start to prioritize the height of the return rather than the depth of the return, right? So if you serve to me and I mean, you'll probably still attack it, but if you serve to me and I get it back short, let's say just past the kitchen,
Okay.
but it's a low ball, especially if it's like a low ball that's got a fair bit of backspin,
Yeah.
and that might still sort of neutralize you enough because you're hitting from so close to the net, because you're having to hit up, that you actually can't hammer it the way you could, let's say it was a 3/4 court return, but kind of high.
Yeah.
What do you think? Short return, is that the new thing for 2020? Short and low.
I don't think it is. I'm going to say that's a hard no on the short returns for 2020.
Okay.
I still think people should try to aim deep. I think that is still the smarter shot. I don't think we should be giving false advice. I think that's really dumb, Mark.
but I'm just saying. So let's see.
I think people are just missing short. I don't think anyone's trying to do. I would be shocked if anyone's trying to do that on purpose. Because what would be the game strategy? Like, I don't understand.
Well, that
they're gonna hit up and you're gonna be at the net ready to smash it. Like, is that the strategy? Or if you keep them back and they have a weak return, they pop it up. Then you're at the net and they're like, I don't think there's any advantages to that.
But if you see, so like I was thinking back to another term I saw recently, and
Okay.
I can't remember whether it was Weinbach I was watching or Wright or those guys. Is I was often seeing the return land, certainly not always, but often seeing the return land not very far past the kitchen, but it still wasn't being hammered, right?
Yeah.
They were still forced to play that drop because it was so low. Because it was so low to the ground.
I guess maybe in that sense, you're hoping that because your opponent's running to the ball and they're not set, maybe they throw up an erratic shot or something. Because you want to be set when you hit your shot out. But if you're running up to hit a short ball, maybe you're just hoping your opponent misses. I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll see. Well,
I would be interested to hear what other people have to say about that.
Maybe this will be a recurring theme.
This will be a recurring
right.
guest speaker question.
All right. And with that point there, Waters and Waters commanding lead here. They're at 9-2-2 here in game number 2.
I don't think any timeouts have been taken. I don't know if I agree with that strategy myself.
Wow. Great cross court played by Taylor Ewell. Annalie's able to get to it and reply with one of her own. And that's going to set up match point. Pardon me, 10-0-2. Short return.
Yeah. I don't think
Not
that was on
attacked.
purpose.
Not attacked.
But I don't think because it was too low.
That's my point.
What's your point?
We'll talk about it later.
I'm
With
confused.
With that, Annalie and Lee Waters take this match in 2 straight games. A dominant performance by them. We're going to see if we can get a quick interview with them after this. We'll be back after this quick break. Stay close. Lindsay, thanks a lot for joining me.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, welcome back to Mesa. I'm Mark Renison along with Lee and Annalie Waters. Dominant performance, ladies. Did this go pretty much to plan?
Yeah, I mean, the first match is always hard, especially when you get a bye first round because you're kind of cold and the other team's already had a match. So I think we did a good job of staying focused and really, working together as a team well and not being, so distant in the first match.
All right, and I've got to say, we were talking a little bit about the serve. Lindsay Newman and I were watching. You two spent quite a bit of time warming up the serve. What would you say when you're hitting that serve? What's the kind of thinking? What's the strategy behind your serve?
Okay, so first of all, I'm trying to get a good tempo because if you kind of are a little hitchy in your serve, that's when the errors start. So I'm trying to get a good tempo, and I'm also working on getting the ball deep. We have a little bit of wind, so kind of feeling out how hard or how soft we have to hit the serve to get it deep without it going out.
All right, well, congratulations on this victory. Good luck going forward.
Thank you.
Do you want a picture of us? Sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. It was great.
That's Lee